Welcome to those who are just joining, and just here at the hour, we are looking very much forward to a town hall we call Cultivating Company Rituals for Better Remote and Hybrid Collaboration. And as you arrive into this session, we'll just be explaining a little bit, helping you get comfortable, and then we'll be ready to take off in just a bit. You'll be able to use the chat in the platform, and there's also a resources link. So if you are looking at the screens here, you'll be seeing a Miro board, and that's a board that you can use the link in the resources, and then you can enter and take a look around while we get everybody settled. And then Loa and I, Jacob and Tina, will be ready to welcome you on board. Loa?
Yeah, so very welcome to us. We are Jakob and Bettina and Ole here in the board. We are from Bigger Picture, a learning and design agency. We are very thrilled to be part of this event, and we are thrilled to see many people now joining slowly.
So what we are going to be preparing you to join us in is an interactive session with this topic about rituals. So we hope that you'll be clicking on the resources link, and then you'll be joining into this Miro board that you're seeing right now. It's looking at as a town hall, and as you enter the board and this session, there'll be a chance for you to pick up a artifact, choose a character, and move around in the town hall. As we move into the session in a little bit, we'll share with you the agenda, and then also some of the things that we hope you will find valuable as a Miro user. We're seeing right now, we're counting up, and you're also welcome in the chat to already now post any anything. What is it we'd like to have in the chat, Bettina?
Yeah, we are looking forward to seeing where you are coming from, and also how familiar you are with Miro. So 1 is you are not familiar at all, or 5 is that's you are Miro Pro and you know everything. So looking forward to seeing where you're coming from and how pro are you with Miro.
And now let's see more people. We're are a good chunk, so you can see the amount of people. We advise those of you who are new to Miro, you're very welcome to just watch this session. Those of you who know Miro very well, 2 and above, just please do enter. Don't move too many things around. We'll in time, we'll help you get hold of these things. The session is also designed this way that 100 people can be in the board. At the moment, we're up to a 45. And if there's more than 45, or if you choose just to do view, then know that you can use the chat. But this is an experience that you can definitely get a lot out of by joining the board, but as much you can also just view how we play around with this type of Miro board. We're
maybe to say that even though the board looks quite complex, you feel free to join in. Even though you're new to Miro, you're very welcome to join in and test it and be part of it.
We like to use the frames. So if you go and have a possibility, you can always click on the sidebar, and then you can navigate around in the board space. A little bit more, we'll just have a little bit more people joining in, and then we'll get down to the agenda. What you're seeing is a board designed as a physical space or digital twin of a physical space. We'll be going through this board as a way to help people learn and also help collapse the time it takes for teams to get results, to achieve good results. But let's move forward and jump into what we will have. We have on the agenda, Loa.
Yes, I will just wait till I see you zoom in. So just like many other company rituals, we always like to start with sharing an agenda. So this is the agenda for this next 50 minutes. And the purpose of our session today is to explore ways to cultivate company rituals for better remote and hybrid collaboration. We aim at an hour from now or 50 minutes from now that we have inspired you to use visual rituals to improve remote and hybrid collaboration. The process is this is our process, and right now we are here, welcome and walking you through the agenda. Then Ole will talk to you around what we see as a collaboration gap. We will do an exercise collectively where we map rituals. And then we'll go back to a presentation of how we have come to find out how we do the 3 different ways of doing rituals. Then we will do insights and questions. So also an exercise where we'll invite you to jump in and share insights and ask questions. We'll share a use case. If we get to it, if in time allows, we will share use case. And then we'll touch upon next steps. So what you can do after, like you can give us feedback, that's one thing, but also explore tools and join courses and reach out to connect later on. The principles guiding us in order to reach our objectives is that we hope that this session, and we're really trying to do it the best to make it very interactive. It's snippet learning, so it's quick. So hopefully you'll get a lot out of it, but it will be a snippet. And then, as always, when we are many people on a call like this, then we'll embrace technology also when it doesn't really play as we want it to. So we have added in different profiles here with participants. So we see that there are most likely innovators, designers, agile practitioners, strategists, and so forth. If you don't see yourself here at one of the orange post-it notes, feel free to grab a post-it note and add your profile. So a profile that resonates with what you do in your daily work. Ole, I'll hand it back to you.
Yeah, so thank you, Laura. And I'll zoom out a little bit. Once in a while, we'll be bringing everybody to our view, and you'll see it in the platform. But of course, if you're in the board, you'll also get a chance to see that here. So as we started in the town hall, here's the platform. Laura said we're a company based in Copenhagen. I also want to highlight that the reason why we are here at Distributed is we've written a book, Visual Collaboration, and it fits hand in glove, this method, with a way of working when you're remote, hybrid, but of course also when you're in physical space. So while those of you who are there, thank you very much for adding in other titles. So continue doing that. I'll be zooming out a little bit so that we can take a look at the town hall. And the idea of the town hall is that is for some a company ritual. And we've just gone through one specific ritual, which is walking through an agenda. So that's the way we'll talk about rituals, and we'll invite you also to join in this conversation. You'll see to the left, there's a landscape. I'll zoom out and have everyone just see there's a landscape where you arrive. And to the right of our board, there's also a path into the future after this session. We really hope that you will enjoy this session and walk away with new ideas of rituals that can help you improve your hybrid and remote collaboration. As a first step for you to jump into this, for those you are in, we're now up to, I think 60, or is it? Yeah, I think 60. We'd like you to come to the sideboard on the left, and we'll go into the participant area. And if you haven't yet, this is the space now where we'd like you to pick up a person. And for example, this one, there's more behind each one. So you pick up a person like I'm doing right now, and you double click on the name tag, and you write your name, for example, like this. On the table, you can see there are some artifacts. So we'd like everyone to enter the board by grabbing an artifact and grouping your character with your artifact, and once ready, moving your person into the board, into a table that has the color of your character. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to do just that, and then we will see how many will end up at the right table, and also with an artifact. Remember to group your person. So second ritual we're experimenting with now in the town hall is get yourself comfortable around one of the tables. Find yourself, add an artifact, and move yourself into the board. Had this been a physical town hall, we would have taken your jacket, invited you in, shown you the coffee automat, or make you feel comfortable in the first handful of minutes. So that's let's try how this works at the moment. Is there anything in the chat, Bettina or Mary, that we need to be keeping an eye on? Okay. So this is looking good. Jason is there, Madan is there, Rolf, you're there. Wilson, yeah. The person who entered the stage where we have the agenda, you're very welcome also to take your character and move your person up to the area we have made in green. And one of you, you're very welcome to stay in green, even though you have a yellow character, but you of course welcome also to go back to your A table. Maybe you already know and appreciate your own set of company rituals. We will be showing new ways that can help you amplify those rituals that work and improve the way you collaborate when you're in remote and hybrid setting. But Laura, is there, as we finalize jumping in, moving into the table? Are we?
No, yeah, I think it looks good. It's awesome to see that many people moving around in the board. What we really like here with the avatars is that it's very easy to see how you have people engaged. So it's a way of humanizing the online environment.
Good. I think we've got almost. While the last of you get yourself a character, I will move my character up towards the presentation. So in a town hall, let's say a typical ritual would be that there's information sharing about future trends in the company or the state of the nation. So let's go into another town hall ritual and give a little bit of insight into what we are seeing and what we hope will be interesting inputs seen from the perspective of bigger picture and the way we consider the visual collaboration. So now I'll help everyone come up here. So I might have pulled you away from your character. If I did so, I do apologize. I'll just share with this screen. You're welcome to go back and finish your character. Right now, we'll just share this part that we believe is relevant for distributed and how to help teams collaborate in remote and hybrid settings. We call it the collaboration gap. And on the one side, we see a way of working where we are operating with a narrow bandwidth. It's we address the complexity of the business environment in a slow way with more fragmentation, and it might be considered to be working in linear structures. We would like to emphasize that if you think of a way of working that fits teams, we could call it a broad brain bandwidth, where we use visuals to collapse the time to understanding, where you faster become aligned and you are able as teams to work with complex systems. Now, surprise maybe, it's that our way to bridge the collaboration gap has these components. It's to think of visuals as a language that if you learn this new language, you're better equipped to tackle complex issues faster. And that calls for some new company rituals. It could mean rituals that include visual thinking, visual practice, and then visual frameworks. So that's what we'll talk about moving forward. The challenge, if it's expressed as a way that many organizations might be seeing it from the manager point of view, is that as we move into a more complex company environment, how do we strengthen our way of working to deal with this increasing complexity? We have more and more tools, but the bandwidth of our human brain, the social structure, the way we compute is maybe not up to speed, or there might could be things we do. So if you're an employee with any of these roles, it could be that we need to master remote async work, that we need to find ways where we could do that better. And we are here distributed with using Miro as one platform where some of this is possible. But there's a component about this that maybe what we will focus on even more in this session is the company rituals. Wait a minute, here we go. So a ritual is established practices or traditions within a company that help build culture, foster sense of belonging, and promote shared values among employees. It's an act that's done regularly, usually without thinking about it. So one example of that could be that on a personal level, my morning ritual includes reading the newspaper while I drink my coffee. So it's something I do without thinking too much about it, and it helps me get into the right mode before my work. If we think of it more broadly, it's every Monday morning, in bigger picture, we have a meeting where we check in on the week's assignment. So that's part of how we do it, that makes our operating model work. And that is we would consider that a ritual in bigger picture. So that was the initial part of this town hall about company rituals. Now we'd like to turn it over to you. And before I do that, Loa or Bettina, is there anything we need to be aware of? Any questions or any complications?
Yeah, I can see that a few people might see a delay. So maybe we can work around that a little bit.
Okay. Good. So let's move out towards the groups that you were positioned in. So we'd like you to look at the tables. Now look at this great picture of all the 5 tables. Each table will give you a handful of minutes to now answer this question. And notice that the yellow and the blue table have there's different tones to this question. So go to your table of your character color and add your input to the table category. And the bigger question is, what rituals have you come to appreciate in your company? For the yellow and blue group, please pick a Post-it note and answer like here, pick it, move it down, and then answer it by writing company rituals, broadly company rituals that you've come to appreciate. For the green and the pink group, we focus a little bit more. What company rituals have you come to appreciate around remote and hybrid collaboration? And the gray table focuses even more on remote and hybrid meeting rituals. So please brainstorm for the next couple of minutes on company rituals you've come to appreciate in these 3 levels, but keep it on your board so that we see these different angles, and let's see if we can become concrete on some of it. I think, Loa, I'll add in 1 more minute, or should there be more, you think?
Yes, let's start and see how it goes.
Okay. A lot of people typing away. If you're lacking Post-it notes, just duplicate a Post-it note, add in more. We'll just take a look around as you go. A lot of Post-it notes in the pink group. A handful of Post-it notes also in the gray group. So as we move forward, I'll add 1 more minute. So in a minute's time, please take a look at the board of the color table you're in. Think about rituals that you appreciate in your company, that you've come to appreciate, that bring value to the way you do your work. The 2 first tables, 1 and 2, the blue and the yellow, more broadly. 3 and 4, specifically when it comes to being remote or hybrid. And the last one is when it's specifically around meetings that are hybrid or remote. As we enter the last minute, we will, you're welcome to add in a post-it note. If you just cannot have that you're in the yellow, but you really want to put into the gray, you're welcome to do that as well. You can look at each other's table, the blue and the yellow, and add in more that come to mind. And we'll be ready to make a summary and wrap up in half a minute. And Bettina will start with you and then Jacob. And if anybody has just joined, there's a link in the resources and you can still enter the board. And we're in a town hall meeting where we're talking about company rituals for better remote and hybrid collaboration. It's not too late to join, grab a person and enter the session. We've just understood around 5 tables that you can see here to the right. And now let's go, are we ready to go to the top?
Yes.
Let's go.
So the first part, I will now everybody end your post-it note. You can always go back and then I'll bring everyone to the company rituals from yellow and blue group. We've put in some, and then Bettina, you've highlighted a couple of them.
Yeah, I added a few of them from the post-its that the participants put in. So I would say giving kudos to town hall meetings, check out for lunch break, good morning check-in, yearly in person, that's a nice one, and sending traditional postcard from holidays or business to close. That's really nice.
Super. Okay, so that was a very short highlight. Let's move to the one that goes a little bit into the company rituals for remote and hybrid collaboration. And Jacob, oh, sorry, there you go. What have you been seeing?
Yes, so I almost couldn't control myself. I wanted to grab them all because there were so many great ones. But some of the ones I picked was having temperature check, either just like that, or another one was having emoji check-in, so just to show how we're feeling at the start. And regarding start, somebody also wrote that they play music at the start of their meetings, and that helps as well. But yeah, I would recommend people to explore the answers because there are a lot of great things that people do around.
My personal favorite is the Thirsty Thursdays. That's a great one. Would love to dive into that, but let's move to the third. Now we're zooming in on specifically on meetings, and Laura, you have a couple of those.
Yeah, we also have a really great one here. So having a ritual is also not having a ritual. So no Friday meetings at all. That's also a ritual that you can learn to love. There's also like meeting evaluations or having a daily stand-up. So being able to meet daily when you meet online, that's a good way to make sure that you at least connect once in a while. Monthly virtual all hands, and team happy hour with storytelling. So we also used to do that when we sit very apart to have a Friday bar at the local online meeting. Back to you, Ole.
Okay, So thank you for all the contributions, and we know this, as Laura said in the beginning, snippet learning. We'll get touch a little bit on some of these things and give you this insight, hopefully, and get all these insights for ourselves as well. What we would like to do now is just to take a look at the middle one here. So I'm zooming in on the company rituals for remote and hybrid collaboration. We're at Distributed, and this is about delivering product at speed and collaborating well in teams and in organizations. So take a look at the ones that are cast up here, and remember the ones maybe you wrote where if they didn't arrive here, just keep on thinking about that. But we'd like to do a vote, and the vote is which of these rituals do you consider most valuable when it comes to improving collaboration and delivering product at speed? So we'll give you 2 minutes to vote, and we invite everyone who's in the board to cast 2 votes. And those who are not in the board yet, you're welcome to give your voice in the chat, and then we'll bring in some of those reflections as well. So be patient a little bit with the part that I'm going to do here. Don't vote on the black post-it note, but any of these that have come up, which of these would you, if you were to choose, would you consider most valuable to improve collaboration and delivering product at speed? So right now, everybody has 2 votes, and let's see how it goes. And I don't think we need 2 minutes, though. That was maybe very generous. But 4 have voted out of 50, and oh, I see. We also got some from the yellow and the blue, but so keep in mind it's just the ones that are green and pink. And we had a little bit of a technical issues before. Is anybody, Laura, Jacob, are you seeing the right things?
We can't see yet any votes on your screen.
So everybody, very welcome to come into the board and click on my icon if you need to see what we're seeing, and then you can put in a vote. We have 10 more to go. So anybody wants to cast their vote, you're very welcome to do so. We have 30 seconds to go. And 6 more to go. I think we will call it at that, Laura, shouldn't we?
Yes.
So we'll end the vote now. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'll end the vote and see what comes up. Preparing results.
So 15 voted on cameras on. That's what I see. Hybrid no meeting days. So 11 voted for hybrid no meeting days. Virtual coffee chats. So 9 voted for that.
And Jacob, can you take a screen share of that? Because so tech problems here. I don't see that. So we don't see that in the screen share, but maybe color those, the 3 that got the most votes. If you color them dark green, then everybody who's watching through the screen share can just see it.
I took
there we go.
screenshot and put it in, so maybe you can use that.
Oh, sorry, we did it, all of us.
Here comes there we go. Okay. So thank you for voting. That gives a little bit. Cameras on is a really good ritual, and yeah, hybrid no meeting days. Okay. Any thoughts on this, Laura?
I think back to what we recommend of how we go about it, Ole.
Okay. So thank you. Let's move forward, because what we'll do now is come up with maybe something that's a little bit a different angle to what you consider to be a ritual. So we are inviting you to think of these 3 rituals as part of your way to improve remote and hybrid meetings. And there's a couple of reasons why visuals. So let's get into that. The first one is grow a visual language. So a ritual where you start learning this new language. The second is design for visual collaboration. Think of build a capacity in your teams to work visually together. And the third is create inspiring spaces with digital twins, like the town hall that you're in. So going a little bit deeper into that, one of the things that we mean by growing a visual language is simply that you have this idea of a language can be visual, French, Danish in our case, but there's also a language where you can build your own visuals. And why is that important? Well, it's a picture that says more than 1,000 words. And that's where it links a little bit to this broader brain bandwidth. Our brain is more, it has been visual before it was text-based, as you see here. And if you think visuals as some very basic shapes, like the ones you're seeing here, that is what we mean. It's not complicated art. When you visualize in a team and make it a ritual that you try to come up with important sketches and visuals that work in your organization, it helps reach clarity around what's most important, both for your team, but maybe also for your organization. And using visuals in meetings, up on the flip chart or in the digital space, help people engage. And finally, in a very digital workplace, hand-drawn elements brings in an analog element to some of the collaboration. So a ritual of working visually is our first recommendation for insight. The second one is design for visual collaboration. And with that, it's a little bit like thinking of well, the background that we're coming from is learning. So when we see a space like this, group learning is really supported by what's up on the walls, like an agenda, for example, here, or a SWOT, or a brainstorm on a flip chart, or a business model canvas, or a Kanban board, if some of that are tools you use to hang on the wall. Now that is designing your spaces to put the collective learning or communication of the team up on the wall. So thinking of your next meeting space where you have rituals, support the rituals with something up on the wall. And the final example is well, we could say, I forgot this one, that when you're face-to-face and you draw on the spaces here, if you go into a virtual space like we are in now, and you start thinking of the whiteboard, Miro, as a place, well, this is designing for visual learning, is to add an agenda in that board. It's adding a space for a SWOT or the brainstorm or the Kanban board or the business model canvas. So you create visuals that support the conversation, even though you're remote. And the part that we'll just end up with is, how do you translate that into the hybrid space? How do you make something work in both spaces? And that's the last slide we'll just share here, is suggestion to make it a ritual that you create inspiring spaces and use digital twins. That can help and promote better collaboration in remote, hybrid, or physical meetings at the same time. What you're seeing here is like the town hall, but here we call it a scrum room. So you have different rituals packed into canvases hanging on the wall. If you're in the Scrum or Agile work, you will know that these are not new. And an example we could take a closer look at is the Rose Thorn Bud retrospective. So it's up on the wall in the digital space, but you also do a digital, you do a twin in the physical space. You might use a big poster in the physical space. So I'll just let this one stand a little bit, and then Laura, just make sure that I get some breath, but also maybe a perspective on what we just walked through.
Yes, thank you, Ole. So, I mean, I think, yes, that this is one approach, that this is the way that we work with it. So to sum up a little bit is to, for us, a good ritual is a purpose-driven and town-board action that we repeat because it's valuable, and that we have found it super practical to add visual structures, metaphors, and icons to these actions in particular in the remote and hybrid meeting setup. We often see that we are collectively, when we are not together physically. We don't have the mobility, we don't have the body language with us. So these elements can really help us whenever we build structures like this. It's a systematic approach to really build in a good way of having meetings. So Ole, now we should zoom out a little bit. So if you zoom out, we'll ask you again to find your avatar. So if you can here next to your table, you find your avatar and then you bring it into the middle of the town hall by the insights and questions. So here by the sofa.
I'm picking up my person and moving my person in if I can find the person. Here I am. I'm moving it towards the space over here. So please take your person and move it over to the table or the area here. So we're meeting up. That's also where Bettina is standing. I'll also join down here. So you pick up your person if you can find your person. Remember the artifact. You can stand all the way down towards the stage or the agenda. You can also go behind the bigger board here. There's space over here on the side. Those of you who have entered the board since, I think we have a handful of more entries. If you don't have a character, down to the left in the board, you can just pick up a character and move your character over there to the place where we're at.
So now slowly, based on what Ole just presented and what you've been experiencing during this session, please feel free to grab here. I'm going to move you a little bit, Garrett. And please feel free to grab a Post-it note here, an orange Post-it note, and add any insights based on what you heard, what you found in this session where we are now. Or with the turquoise Post-it notes, feel free to add questions that pops up looking at this, listening into the presentation Ole just shared. Yeah, Ole, I'm making more Post-it notes. So there are the turquoise Post-it notes for questions, and then the orange Post-it notes for insights that you'd like to share. And please, if you are not in the board, but you are following us in the app, then you can write in the chat, and then we will see if we can bring in your questions or insights from the chat.
And Bettina has, together with Mary, added in a couple of the questions already. So we'll just give it, given you 2 minutes to consider these. If there's a Post-it note you want to add of insights and questions, and then we'll take a look at some of the questions and move into the final part of this town hall. And while we're at that and you're typing away, or those who are watching and putting into the chat, we also consider something like this a ritual, to have a timeout in a workshop or a session and tap into these insights. So that can be helpful in a physical meeting. And in this case, maybe I'll answer a question already. If we had a hybrid meeting, there would be teams sitting in the physical space with the board looking like the digital space. And the remote teams would work in their area, the physical teams would work in their area, and the hybrid would be that joint understanding of the shared visual templates that you're using. And then we will end up with a digital first output. That means that the board we're in is where everybody looks at, and thereby Miro comes in as a super tool to do just that. Should we add a minute more? I think we'll add a little minute more, and everybody's welcome to put in the chat if you're not in the board. We're 79 or 3 in the board, and we'll just zoom in on some of the insights in the shared view. Those of you who want to see. Okay, 14 more seconds, then I think there's a couple of questions we can take immediately. There's some. I'm highlighting some green ones, Laura, and then I'll take those, and then. So while you finish, you're welcome to put more in. I will just address this very important and very relevant question. Where is the hybrid? It's just digital. So in this case, we'll share a use case just in a second about how it looks like when this is hybrid, because yes, this is not hybrid. Nobody is meeting in a physical space. So we'll get to that, the hybrid idea of it. The main thing about the visual rituals is to think of spaces and make some rituals around designing for visual learning, simply because it does something, that's our experience, to help people collaborate and see what they mean. And it does help in a digital space to work visually. The second one I'll take here is, it seems it takes longer to prepare digital workshops. I would, so if that's the question, is like, probably everybody has experienced that designing and facilitating a physical meeting, that's sort of straightforward. When you have done it remote over the last couple of years, is that with your situation? It demanded a little bit more, you have less time, you still need to prepare a lot. And hybrid is just the pain of both combined. So it's three things you need. So yes, it takes a lot but you also have to focus on the what you're doing. That's our experience, but probably everybody has their own. The last one I want to talk to, because can we access to this board to use with clients? At the moment, no. We are adding in, and we'll share in the end some of the things that you can have access to. But this is some of the things that we're working with companies on, to create digital twins that work with them. And we have a system of tools so we can quickly customize to something that's relevant for the settings that companies have. Laura, any question you want to add?
There's also this one. Did you make all the artwork yourself? So yes, everything we've created from scratch, but it also, everything fits together as a puzzle piece or Lego bricks. So you can go into the Miroverse and you can find many of our templates, and everything would fit in together, both the spaces and the templates that's already available in Miroverse.
And you can't see the bandage on Jacob's hand, but he's the one who's been drawing it mostly in Photoshop, right, Jacob? You're welcome to add in a couple of those hints. That has also some questions. You want to do that?
I can do it. Somebody asked how much sketching is necessary in order to build up something like this. And I try to work with a Photoshop document that is as big as this, but then I find my way to get every element out as its own little PNG, so that it has a transparent background, and I thereby can build everything at once, but split it apart afterwards as well.
Super.
A bit technical, but if you know.
Yeah, but so let's see. There's a lot of opportunities you want in the board. You can find, if you go on Discovery after this session, the board link is open. You can still view it. You can see some examples, and you can also go to some hints where you can learn from Jacob or Christina and Laura and I. But let's move towards the use case, just to one of the questions that were there. Thank you so much for coming up to the insights and questions. We're zooming in a little bit on the stage in the back here. We have a handful of use cases that are hanging back here on the wall. I will just bring everyone to me here. So the use case we just want to highlight is the town hall that you're in. So what we've done with Energinet, and if there's anybody from Energinet here, you might recognize, we have been looking at how could Energinet, a Danish company that has energy infrastructure as their main thing, how could they have world like knowledge cafes? And zooming in on their office building, it looks like this. Inside, there's an aula, there's a big area in between the offices. And then here's another snapshot of what that looked like. So with the team within Energinet, Jacob, me, and a couple of ours from Bigger Picture, we took that and we said, well, if people, let's say the knowledge cafe that you're seeing here, there were 25 people who were physically in the room, and there were 25 who were remote. And we designed a session about graphic facilitation using Miro. You don't need to know Danish, but what you might see here is you're seeing the space that you have just entered yourself in a little bit different format. you see people are sitting at tables like you've done, and there are some presentations in the back, and there's some graphic recording at some of the other elements here. So people who were in the space, they were sitting on their computers, working in the board or at templates, and people who were then in the space would in the digital space would then have a chance to go to the tables that were their digital twins. So that was a quick snippet walkthrough of what another example like this, what that could look like. And if you look around in the board, you'll see some other spaces, a boot camp. You also see another room. We won't go through this now because we're just around 5 minutes away from the end of the session. So for now, we would like to end up by going to the not an exercise we'll be doing, but we'll invite you to think about, and please, after the session, put in any post-it note here where the thing where you can get your third ritual going to build inspiring spaces is map out what processes, like the Scrum, a Scrum process, or what supporting spaces do you have in your company? Where would you like to meet and create a digital twin? So you're of course welcome anytime to take a post-it note and put it in. We won't do it right now, but we recommend that that's a super exercise to do within a team. Figure out what your digital spaces are, where you could build a space that could hold some of those important rituals so that you can work better in remote and hybrid settings. The last part of our session today has two elements. One is just you can leave the way out to the side. So I'm zooming out, and those who are seeing the screen share is here. We have you walking away from our town hall. We hope you've been really inspired, and that's what we call the next steps. So just we'll end up by being at the next step. I'll pull everyone over here, and the next step is ways you can grab hold of us if you want to. You can take the first thing, explore the system that's available in Miroverse now. There are 5 different templates. You're welcome to go to any of our courses where you learn to draw or learn to design in Miro, become an expert with Miro, or how to create and design these processes and these digital twins. And of course, you can always reach out if you need specific help. But the last thing, Laura, as we end.
Yes, let's end with a final ritual, a ritual I really enjoy. So feedback. So if you jump over here to the feedback 3 we have, then on a green post-it note, you can add in what was great at this session. And on the red post-it notes on the other side of the tree, you can add what we could have done better or what you would like to see from us next time if we join next year's distributed. So just feel free to grab the post-its.
We have gotten a couple of questions, comments of great by learning by doing, and how are you revealing visuals? So there's a feature in Miro where you can reveal your presentations, and there's a thing about a comment from how do you work with visuals in Miro? It's tricky. We definitely have to recommend the Miro pen. Is an amazing tool to grab and sketch. And then, of course, as you heard Jacob say, there's a backdrop of visuals, so you don't create them in Miro, but you can add and play around and help your team become more visual in the way they work. Yeah, I'll zoom in a little bit, and we'll just 1 minute to go here, add in any. The board won't close, so it'll be turned into view only, so we keep the setup, but you're welcome to, I think we'll have it open for a couple of days, and it'll be view only. So if you have anything, if you want to bring in someone, then you're welcome to do so. The one thing we'd like you to walk away with is really this part. We're zooming out on a big space. Hopefully, when you look at this, it's a room you've entered. You can see where we started at the left, the agenda, the tables, the presentation, and now we're at the end. So it's visual learning, and it's storytelling, and it's bound with rituals that support people to get some stuff done. And I think that's the end. Maria says it's a wrap. Loa, final word?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for participating.